Welcome back, traders. Today we're looking at the Bitcoin miners in a bit of a different light. I've got them here on Yahoo Finance. I've got Mara, Bitfarms, CleanSpark, BitDigital, Hut, and Cypher warrants on the list there today. As you can see, it is showing them all coming down from their highs in December. Currently, you can see all are double digits down. Most are 40% or greater, with the warrants being over 52% down. And the least down, I believe, is Bitfarms at minus 33%. I'm just showing you this to keep it into perspective. This could go further. It's coming down 50% from the top of the move. It could go a little further. Be ready for that. Keep that in mind. I'd also like to put into perspective that if you were interested in Marathon Digital, let me get it on the daily. If you were interested in Marathon Digital up here at $32, at $17 here, it should be very attractive now. If you thought it was worth $32, $17 is an amazing deal. That's the kind of perspective you're going to need in order to make this trade, make it alive in this trade, to make it through this trade. It's going to require that kind of resolve, I think, going forward, because we're going to follow this downward trend for a while, I think. I think we're probably going to come to this ascending trend line all the way down here around $12.50, $13 on Marathon Digital right now. That's what the charts are looking like. It might flatten out a bit, maybe even come to the top of the channel over here at 18, maybe even $20 before making that move. But I do believe that at some point we're going to make it down to this move on this. But that's not why we're here. We're here because if you're interested in Mara at $32, that's because you're looking back here up at 83 at the top. $83. That's its potential. That's where it could go, maybe even higher. That's where I think it's going. Otherwise, I wouldn't be buying it. And right now at $17, I'm not buying it yet, but I'm getting real close. Getting real close to wanting to buy a lot more Marathon Digital here. We're now below the previous cycle highs of $20. I think we're going to get into this support here from this bull flag from early December, down in the low 15, 14 range. Maybe even fill this tiny little gap down here. Then at 1368, I think, could happen. We might mess around here for a bit first, but that's what we're looking at. Same thing with CleanSpark. If CleanSpark caught your eye here at $14, should really be interested in it now at 730. Filled this gap here that I said it would fill. There's another fair value gap between all the way down to here at 659. That's another fair value gap. We're currently in that fair value gap. If I bring up the indicator, you'll see it. There it is in green, that big fair value gap there, going all the way down to 662. Let me get rid of that. That can happen. And if you thought $14 was a good price, this is a great price. And if we look at the July high, which was 762, and we came down in this downward trend here, broke it, and then started moving up, we're going to do a similar thing here. We're going to follow something like this downward trend here, and let me actually unlock it and pull it out. So right now we're actually beneath it. At some point, I think we're going to get back into it, follow the bottom of it for a while, at least till we get to about 650. And then I think we're going to base and start breaking out of it. So once we get above this downward channel right here, this one, once we get above that, we're going to make another big move up like this one. Same thing with Marathon Digital. When we get out of this downward channel, just like we did back here on this down, let me draw it. Let's draw it. Just like this one. Just this one's more aggressive, by the way. But once we get out of this downward channel, just like we got out of this one, we're going to make another big move up. That's my belief anyways. Same thing with Bitfarms. Again, if you were interested in Bitfarms at 357, 227 is a wonderful price by comparison to that. I don't want to be on that one. I don't want to be on the one day. This one's a lot more similar to the previous drop, if you ask me. Again, if we're going to follow this downward trend line for a while, channel, when we break out of it, like we did back here, it might stay flat for quite a while. But once we break out of it, I don't think we're going to go any lower. I think we're going to go up from there, just like we did back here, just like we did back here, where it broke out of it. It just kept going up. I mean, same thing, right? Here, got into this downward trend. I mean, this one was super aggressive, actually. Let me Feels like here. That was this break of the super. That one this one did more of a taper, which I think that's probably what we'll see on Marathon, more of like a taper, like it'll continue to go down, maybe like, but it'll do it a lot slower, kind of like on the back end of Bitfarms here. Once it got out of that, and let's draw a couple here so you can see it did that, and then it tapered, and then it tapered, and once it broke out of that, it never looked back. I think that's what's in store up here as well. First, let's look at Bitcoin, because all this hinges on Bitcoin. If you look at Bitcoin right now, we are currently, underneath or right at a shelf of volume, right at a shelf of volume. You can see it over here. We are flagging. That looks like a bear flag. So with a bear flag, and you can see there's a pocket of volume below it. That pocket of volume goes all the way down here to 37,486 currently. This line right here is the pole of that bear flag. If we take it to the bottom here of the move, where does it take us? It takes us right down here, what, 38,000-ish? Right into this pocket of support, right to near the end of this pocket of volume, of empty volume here below. I think if this bear flag breaks to the downside, that we're going down to that 38,000. I think we're going to do it real fast. I'm going to lock that down. I'm going to leave this flag here. I'm going to leave the pole here. I think that Bitcoin, on a technical level, because we have volume basically fell off. I mean, look at it. On January 12th, look at this huge volume bar. Huge. Volume absolutely dropped off a cliff after that. Started building back up. Now it's started building back up. Got like half the volume of this huge candle, barely moved the needle, and now volume's dropping again. RSI failed to reclaim 50 on the daily chart and is moving back down and is currently at 40. That's very weak technicals right now with a bear flag. Unless there's a news catalyst, Bitcoin's going down further based on the technicals. And I think it's coming back down to this trend line. It may wick a bit lower down to 38 for a short period of time. We might see a nice big wick there. But I think that's going to happen unless there's a news catalyst that is positive for Bitcoin. The miners don't look nearly as bad. They are getting oversold signals. They are falling on lowering volume. So they are getting lower in price, but volume is also following with it, which means they might be slowing down that momentum. And they might come to, start finding a base near where they are. So they're probably pretty close to the bottom. Same with CleanSpark. It's very oversold right now at an 11, or I guess nearly a 12 on its daily RSI. Volume again is also kind of slanting in a downward fashion. So momentum is slowing, volume is slowing. It might come down, continue to come down, but it's going to do it more at a curve now, I think, versus a free fall like it has been in. Same thing with Bitfarms. It's at 21, almost 22 on the RSI. Volume is dropping dramatically. Even we got a little green bar today, and we got like we were still down a little bit, but it started coming up from where it opened, which was very low. So this is also going to slow down in terms of coming down. It's not going to drop nearly as fast as it has been, unless there's bad news catalysts. But I think we're getting close to an area where we might start to base on these, but maybe not quite yet. I think they might have a little bit more room to fall. I mean, like if you look at the volume profile over here and let it load a little more data here. Yeah, the volume profile here, I mean, we could come as low as 182, but it might take a little while. Same thing with Marathon Digital. Actually, Marathon Digital looks like it's on some volume here. It might find support in this area, actually. What about not Bitfarms, CleanSpark? CleanSpark is about to hit a pocket, honestly. Yeah, it's going to hit a pocket here. 650 is where it's probably going to get caught. And if it doesn't get caught, it's going to come all the way down to like 460. That'd be pretty dramatic, wouldn't it? So that's what we're looking at right now. The miners are having a hard time, but the thesis always was that the miners will bleed off before the halving. So you'll get your chance to scoop them up at a good price, DCA in as they're falling, and then ride the wave up after the halving, which is going to happen in April here, just a couple of months. So please like, comment, and subscribe, and have a profitable day.